Welcome everyone to Rotor Talk Live Season 4, Episode 21, Which Mini Drone Should You Buy? How is everyone doing tonight? We're going to be joined a little later by Ron Brown, and more than likely Marcus will join us tonight. And we need to wish Marcus a very happy, belated, but nevertheless happy birthday to him. It was a milestone birthday for him. He turned 20. No. Hope you guys are doing well tonight. Johnny Drone Flyers in the house. Leonard Oglesby. Ted Bowman is here. Mike Wright. Stephen Ewing. And Drone Shots. My allergies always seem to kick in Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock Eastern. I don't know why. It's like timing. What can I say? Got a lot to talk about tonight. Okay. I made a purchase. We're going to share that. Got some other news. Good grief. Got some good news I'm going to share with you guys. So let's just kind of get started here. Steve Mack, welcome. Last night, we had a wonderful surprise, quote unquote, surprise birthday reception for Marcus last night on Drone Nation. That was a lot of fun to be a part of that. I want to thank Ron for inviting me. It's always fun. And when and I'll tell you this, the drone community is the best. We like to celebrate good things, and it's a very good thing to have another birthday. And we'll talk a little more when Marcus joins us in a little bit here. But it was great to be a part of that last night. A lot of fun. Had some great discussion last night. It was great. Ryan Duval was on last night. Al Duran was on last night. John Coopy was on last night. Johnny Alfonso made a trip. Ray Kelly was there, but had some problems with the sound, but couldn't connect with him. And then Marcus had to leave at 10 o'clock. He was on Sean Oz's show last night. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun. We had a good time. Ray Kelly, welcome. Glad to see you here, my friend. Ann Vanderveen, welcome. Thank you for showing up tonight. Sorry about this stuff. All right, going to start out with some news here, okay? There's not a great deal of news, but the first thing I want to show you, okay, we all know, you probably heard Ron and Marcus talk about it. I talked about it too, and they found out through Mr. D. We all know who Mr. D is, and our hat tip to him, that DJI dealers have been informed that they're receiving their last stock of the Mavic 2 series. Okay, so end of life is coming for the Mavic 2. Around the corner is the Mavic 3. So we all know that. Okay, that's like the elephant in the room. Everybody knows that's there. I came across this today. This was posted on in my Mavic 3 group, and I had to laugh. Okay, it's out on YouTube, and it's not really a video. And I can show you a still from it. I can't show you the video because I don't want to get a copyright strike or anything like that. But I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I just don't know what to say. Okay, so we're gonna share this here. Okay, all right. This is supposedly, and I'm going to say this. This is somebody's wild interpretation of what the Mavic 3 is going to look like, okay? With a looks like a retractable gimbal that can do 360 down there. Obstacle avoidance all around on this. There's a little video that goes with it. It only's had like about 3,800 views. This was done, obviously, overseas. Somebody did this, and somebody cobbled this together at, somebody's imagination there. So what can I say? All right. It's just something to laugh about. I mean, really. I mean, just this is your laugh of the week. So enjoy this here, guys. What can I say? It's just if you really guys want the link, let me know. I'll drop it in after the show's over. Okay. Wow. Sorry about these daggone allergies, guys. What can I say? Okay, that's the first bit of news. Now I got some real news, okay? That's the laugh out loud news, all right? Now I actually have some real news. Well, a lot of people say it's not real because from who it's from, but I would say chances are good. This is pretty good. I think this is legit stuff right here. Okay. Our buddy Asilev posted today, live stream for DJI Fly is on the way. That is good news. Let me tell you that. Okay. iPrism is a great tool and it does work. It does have its limitations. However, I can't tell you how many questions I've fielded on iPrism because I've done like 2 or 3 videos on that with the original Mini. So, but this will be wonderful. And let's hope this time this works, okay? Because I tell you what, DJI's had not had good success with live streaming from their platforms. Okay, well, let me back this up, okay? I would say maybe 2 years ago they did, but then they tried to get it onto the smart controller, and we all know the natural disaster that was, all right? Well, I think the Fly app is so much better than the Go 4 app. I think people are in universal agreement about that. There are very few people. I mean, the Go 4 app is more detailed, but the Fly app, it's easy, it's intuitive, it tells you the information that you need, it's right at your fingertips. If they got this to work, okay, this would be an incredible firmware update, okay? And then realize, okay, all this will cover Air 2, Air 2S, original Mini, Mini 2. You know, that's pretty good. And probably, you know, going forward, your Fly app is going to be your app for DJI. So this is some good news. I think that's something you can probably you know, kind of take to the bank there. So yeah, it will be cool, Ray. I'm looking forward to this. I think you know, because you know, a lot of people ask me questions about, you know, being able to, you know, I get questions in the forums. I get questions in the groups all the time and emails, you know, about live streaming. And you know, and I told them you can use iPrism, but remember, it has a lot of limitations when you do that. So you just need to kind of keep that in the back of your mind when you're thinking about that. But that's some real news, okay? That is some that is some real news. So you know that's something that I think is worth sharing here, okay? I did something today, okay? It's a good thing, all right? I did a good thing today, all right? It's the other goodies coming with that update that are exciting. Oh, Lauren. Oh, okay. All right. I'm all ears, Lauren. It's always good to, number one, it's always good to have Lauren in the house. He is our resident DJI expert, and he knows all things DJI. So Lauren, welcome. It's good to have you in the house. But that's good. That's good information. Okay. This update's going to have more than just that capability of being able to go online on streaming. So that's going to be a good thing. So stay tuned for that. That sounds really good. I'm glad to hear that. Okay. Now I got some other news I'm going to share with you. Let me get this up on the screen here. All right. You know, I've been talking about this, and we're going to talk about it here in a few minutes. Let me get this shared here. Well, here's what I did today, okay? Zino Mini Pro. What can I say, all right? It's supposed to, on Hubsan's site, it says June 10th, okay? You know, now, you know, we're talking about this a little bit last night on Drone Nation on whether or not it arrives June 10th or it ships June 10th. And I think it ships June 10th. And I think it ships overseas June 10th because on Hubsan US site, it still has TBD on there. But you never pay for shipping with Hubsan. It's like 3 to 5 business days, it says, which is great because they'll probably receive their stock over here in the US and ship directly from the US. They probably won't ship directly from China. So, so I think that's a good deal. I'm excited about this drone, okay? And we're gonna spend some more time talking about all these minis here in a few minutes. But gosh, I think I think this has a potential to really kind of like put the Hubsan on the map again. All right, and they need something. They need a shot in the arm. So I think that'll be a good thing. I really do. My room's starting to get. I'm real close to getting this room finished, and when I get it finished, I'm going to do a little tour of it so you guys can see it. I have 2 separate work areas in here, and got an entertainment area in here too. Got a wonderful TV, and going to have a love seat that's getting delivered here on Friday. So fantastic. And let me tell you guys, I'm going to put in a plug, an unbiased plug for Geek Squad. Those guys know what they're doing, okay? Because we're all tech guys. We're all kind of little techie, nerdy kind of a thing here, okay? Those guys know what they are doing, all right? Because they put in 5 speakers in the ceiling. Our house was pre-wired for it. An AV receiver, a new TV in the family room. They hooked up the DVD player to it. And in the den, we got a new TV. I have a brand new TV here and entertainment stand, and we hooked up a DVD player there. Our old TVs, one is in old, and I'm saying they're like 7 years old. One's in our bedroom, and the other one we had mounted in the wall in our second bedroom. Okay, that's going to be our guest bedroom, which is a 70-inch, and it's a 65-inch here. There's a 75-inch here. And then DirecTV's been out, okay? But I got to say this. The guy from DirecTV says he looked at this Sony in the den here. He said that's the best color he's ever seen on any TV. This thing just jumps out at you. So, yeah, this is going to be – we're going to have great options to watch movies. So I'm really looking forward to this. So, love seat, sofa bed in my studio too. Yeah, Ray, I'll tell you what, it's fantastic, because, one end is really kind of like my work from home area, where what you see right here, this is where I spend Monday through Friday doing my thing for Publix, for God and country. And I love Publix, don't get me wrong there. The opposite end is where we're going to work on drones and, the other thing, which I think you guys may guess, but we're gonna talk about this here, and I'm gonna get something out probably within the next week and a half, 2 weeks. I promise. Okay. Oh, let's get out, and I want to not really clarify this, but I want to get some news and updates. And with this news and updates, I have something super, super exciting. Okay, we're gonna have Build a Drone Reviewer grab bags. All right. I have yet to put a price on them, but they're going to be reasonable. And what you're going to get, I have a hodgepodge of brand new accessories I'm going to give away. There's some clothing. Some of it is absolutely brand new. Build a Drone Reviewer polo shirt, Build a Drone Reviewer t-shirts. Got mugs that we're going to be giving away. Some brand new accessories are going to be giving away. Got some posters from Build a Drone Reviewer are going to be given away. Got a Phantom 1 box we're going to give away, Phantom 2, Phantom 3. They're going to be included in 3 of them. Also giving away a drone. It's a Potenza. Don't get too excited, but I am going to have a drone's going to be with one of these grab bags. And pricing is going to be very reasonable for this. What I'm going to be doing this weekend is setting aside some time. I'm just going to map out what we have and see how many boxes we can get together. Payment is going to be simple. It's going to be by PayPal. Make it super, super easy for all of you to be able to do this. Unfortunately, I have to limit this to the United States because some of these I'm going to be shipping them in probably Home Depot moving boxes. I got to get the better kind, the one that you use for moving. Okay, after you use it for moving, it's good to be thrown out in the trash. Okay, because it's not very strong. I'm going to get some strong boxes so we can mail all this to you. But it's going to be fun, and I think you guys are really going to enjoy this. So hang tight. We're going to get that together, and then I'll do a video to announce it, and it'll be real easy. What you guys do is just, it'll be first come, first served, okay? There's no, I'm not going to have grab bag number 1, grab bag number 2, 3, 4. I'm just going to count how many we have, tell you how many are out there, and then, give you guys a start time and then go. And then, when the last one's gone, the last one's gone. And then if it ends up being popular, okay, we'll probably look at doing this again sometime. But I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. You guys are going to get a lot of great stuff for not a lot of bucks, okay? I think that's going to be fantastic. So make sure people's PayPal works. Yeah, Ray, it does. It does. I'm an XXL and love coffee. Joe's Drone Live. Joe, welcome. Good to see you, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Goodie bags. Matt, they're going to be fantastic. Everybody's going to like. Now, if you get something for Mavic Mini and you don't have a Mavic Mini in there, okay, pay it forward. Send it to somebody that does have a Mavic Mini, or vice versa. If you get something for like a Mavic Air 2 and you don't have a Mavic Air 2, send it to somebody. Swap out. Have fun with these things, okay? That's the whole purpose for it. Have fun with this. Enjoy it. Have a good time. I think it's great, okay? Fimi X8 Mini update, okay? Now, many of you know what I did was I canceled my order with B&H, okay? Now, B&H still does not have an arrival date. It took forever even to get on their chat because of COVID-19. They have very limited customer support, which is unfortunate, but part of the story here. And when I did get through, they weren't really saying a whole lot about dates. Okay, I had heard through some back channels May 20th, but I wasn't counting on it because we were talking about this last night on Drone Nation, and you guys that were watching Drone Nation, a part of that, heard John Coopy tell his story about ordering from B&H, and then I told mine. But what they told John, they had told that to me all before, okay, and said it's going to be coming in on Friday. We'll get them distributed on Monday. Hang tight. We're almost here, and then that day comes and goes, okay. And John nailed it last night when we were talking about this. And he thinks, and I agree wholeheartedly with him, that what the deal is with this is it's not B&H's fault. So don't come down on B&H. B&H has great customer service. Okay, they really take good care of customers. I have been super pleased with everything I've got with them and how they've treated me. Okay, so don't come down on them. It's Fimi, all right? It's this now. It's this overpromise, underdeliver. We have enough units. No, we don't. Okay. They got sold out from AliExpress a lot faster than they thought they would. Okay. And I think what is going to happen is the first batch is gone from Fimi. The second batch, okay, is what B&H is waiting on, and it's not available yet. So I think that's where things are with B&H. Okay. Johnny Dronefly, you may be right, Johnny. They may not get them, okay? And if that happens, then B&H won't do business with Fimi anymore. That you can pretty much put that in your back pocket if that happens. And it really could. To be able to tell a fairly significant retailer like B&H that we'll get you these, and then we kind of sold out and we kind of don't have any in stock, and we're kind of waiting to replenish our stock. That doesn't bode well, guys. That really does not bode well. So, we'll count that as it is. Now, I've got an alternate source that I'm probably going to be ordering mine through here in the next day or two. All right. Now, it won't get here till probably third week of June, which is okay. All right. I'm good with that. All right. I don't have any problems with that. Now, the other thing with the Fimi Mini, now I've been watching and consuming a lot of videos on it. Ryan Duvall put out a couple of great videos. Al Duran's put out some. Ron's put out his first video, which was great. And, Marcus has had a couple out there as well, too. Probably the one I think, I'm not going to say stands out, but it seems that the Fimi X8 Mini that Ryan Duvall has, it looks pretty well. I haven't seen any of that gimbal shake. And with Ron's, I didn't see any gimbal shake with that, okay? Which I think is a good thing, all right? So, that's something that's encouraging. Okay. Now, also with Ron's, unfortunately, we saw that wonderful tilted horizon. Okay. Guys, how long has the Fimi, has Fimi, the X8 SE, the X8 SE 2020, how long has this been going on? At least 3 years. And they still haven't corrected horizon tilt. I mean, this is definitely a issue that can be corrected by software. Okay. Oh, we're going to have a software update come out to take care of it. Okay. And it seemed historically, what happened for me with the X8 SE 2020 is when I would do a return to home, all of a sudden, the gimbal spins around, the drone spins around, it does a yaw, and evidently that yaw, for some reason, it corrects this. And the horizon is fine for the rest of the flight. Of course, you're coming back home. So what can I say? But, with that being said, Marcus has some news, and I'll let him share that about the Fimi X8 SE or Fimi X8 Mini. It's good news for him, okay? And Fimi's customer service is doing well. Fimi contacted me. I'm on their distribution list, because I have a YouTube channel. They're going to go ahead and mail me to test the other battery, okay? The battery that brings it within the 249 grams. They're going to send that to me, no charge, which is nice. Should arrive probably about the same time as the drone, so that'll be nice. I'll have 2 batteries with this drone, so I'm anxious to get it. I'm hopeful that I get one that's not going to have the myriad of problems that we've seen with them. Okay. So Jaybird, welcome. Okay. Interactive DNA. B&H is famous for selling things that they don't have. I lost count how many times they sold me things they did not have in stock. I think they need to do. They probably need to take better track of who their suppliers are and what their suppliers tell them. I don't think it's necessarily their fault. I think they believe what their suppliers are telling them. In this case, they're believing what Fimi tells them. So this is where you're at with them. So so we'll see. But some of the positive things about the Fimi Mini is the runtime. I know a lot of people have said that they've gotten some great runtime with the Fimi Mini, and I believe that. Ryan talked about that. Marcus talked about that. Ron talked about that. That sounds really good. And from watching some of Ron's video, even though he only has one video on, I liked what I saw on there. The colors looked very good. Maybe a little too green, but it was pretty sharp. The camera, the quality of the image from the camera was excellent. I really liked it. So, and figure what? You're paying $319 for this drone, okay? It's a decent drone. Let's hope that Fimi gets all this ironed out before too long, and that way, they'll have a very competitive drone out on the market. We were talking last night, and I think Ryan and John Coopy and some of the others chimed in, and I think maybe even Al Duran did too, that they thought that the camera from the Fimi X8 Mini was better from the camera from the Fimi X8 SE 2020, which is encouraging. That's a good thing. They need to tone down the HDR drone views. Yes, that's one thing that was mentioned last night on Drone Nation. They talked about that. So we'll see. Okay, like I said, I'm anxious to get mine. I'm gonna order it tomorrow. Just kind of having to time things here financially, but yeah, I'm gonna order that too. So that should get here mid-June. So look forward to plenty of reviews on that. We're gonna put it through its paces. And then we got the Zino Mini Pro coming, and I'm really looking forward to that. So I mean that's going to be, with that we're going to do a little segue into the Zino Mini Pro news. Now I did tell you that out on Hubsan's site, they had a date of June 10th out there. Okay, which more or less, that means the day that it will start shipping. Okay, probably from China, maybe in the U.S. Okay, they may have the stock in the U.S. and start shipping them then. I can say this: if you have a chance to order it, and who you want to order it through Hubsan US. Okay, don't even hesitate. All right, with others, because they are fast, they are prompt, they have it in stock. You'll get it, and you'll get it within that 3 to 5 day window. That I do know, which is a good thing. All right, so and we were also talking about this may be one of the rare drones that we get before we actually see footage from it. How many times? And that's a question. We kind of talked about that last night. How many times have you bought a drone, not necessarily sight unseen, but you haven't seen any video product from it or a video of it flying? Okay. And that's the case here. None of us have seen a video from the Zino Mini. None of us have seen a video of the Zino Mini flying. So it's going to be interesting. Now, I ordered mine with 2 batteries. And also it comes with a bag too, in order the 64 gigabyte internal memory, which is nice. Okay, now I gotta say this, and this is something I think Hubsan was kind of on the spot with. Okay, is having 64 gigabytes of internal memory, no SD cards to mess around with. And let's face it, guys. Okay, unless you're an absolute professional, 64 gigabytes is plenty of memory. Unless you're shooting 4K 30 the whole time, all right? 1080p is great a lot of the time. So when you're out, you'll be able to shoot for as long as you have batteries, okay? And I think this is going to be that's going to be a good thing. My only question is going to be transferring it, okay? Transferring it off the Zino Mini Pro down to your PC or Mac. That's going to be an interesting process. I'm interested to see how that's going to go. So we'll see how that goes. And a correction. The X Hubsan 2 app was updated to have the Zino Mini Pro. Ron told me about that, and so did Marcus. So thank you, gentlemen, for that information. Just want to clarify that and make sure everybody's aware of that too. Grumpy Vlogger, welcome. Good to see you, my friend. Matt Cundiff's here. Matt, I didn't even welcome you. Matt, thanks for being here, man. I hope the Zino Mini is a success. Tired of relying only on DJI for drones, man. You know what, Matt? You hit the nail on the head there. You really did. And here's Mr. Marcus Crawford, and we want to wish you a very happy belated birthday, Marcus.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm officially a senior citizen now.
All right. Yeah. Social Security on the way, huh?
Well, and I need to run down to Denny's and order that senior slam.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Well, I was talking about I ordered my Zino Mini Pro today from Hubsan, and I got the 2 batteries with the 64 gig with a bag. The price, I think the price is pretty reasonable too for what you're getting the 2 batteries with that. And also we were just kind of talking about having that 64 gigabytes of internal storage. I'm like, unless you're shooting 4K 30 the whole time with that, if you shoot in 1080, you're going to have gobs of room on there to shoot video with,
Yeah, no, I use a 64 gigabyte card in my drones, and it's more than enough for multiple flights and multiple batteries. I will say this, Bill, I ordered the 128 gigabyte version because it's probably your only chance to do that. In other words, it's not something you could upgrade later. So I thought,
yeah,
you know what, I'll just do it. Will I use it? Like you said, probably not.
Yeah, but let's say, I was just saying you'll be able to shoot as long as you have battery. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, I guess I would if you're on a trip or something like that, right? I think you'd need that that kind of memory. If you took it up, camping or something, where you couldn't just upload your video, it would be handy to have. So
now, my only question is this download process. Okay, how's it going to be? Downloading it off your Zino Mini Pro to your PC or your Mac. That's a good question.
Yeah, let's just be honest, Bill, we don't know a hell of a lot about any of it yet. And like
no, we don't.
Pictures and specifications at this point. So yeah.
Yeah, and I was saying, why don't you give an update about your Fimi Mini, because you had some good news about that last night.
Yeah, so the Fimi support reached out to me and they said, "Listen, we know that you admitted that you broke your Mini yourself. It wasn't the fault of the drone at all, but they said, if you send it back to us, we'll take a look at it and we'll fix it up for you at no charge." Which I just thought was, wow. I mean, other than me paying shipping, etc., I thought, man, that's awesome. So I'm going to take them up on that. And then, Bill, I got the same offer that you did with the Pro battery. They're going to send me one of those as well. So hopefully I'll have that when I get, as you know, Jet Martin graciously allowed me to take his order from B&H. And so when B&H ships, I will have another one. So potentially I'll end up with 2 Fimi Minis, but heck, you know how that is. You can never have enough drones.
That's what I was going to say. You can really never have enough drones. One of the things that, obviously, we're kind of talking about minis tonight. And one of the things that I was, it's like, which mini drone should you purchase? And it's right, as of right now, okay, it's easy for people like for you, for me, for Ryan Duval, for Al Duran, Ron, those of us that do drone reviews, to go ahead and get the Zino Mini Pro. Okay, it's an easy decision for us to do that because a lot of people rely upon us and our opinion and what we think of it is before they go ahead and they plunk that money down to get that. All right. For us, it's like a kind of a no-brainer. Okay. We do that. And, every time, a consumer drone comes out, more than likely we get that and we review it and we give them good information, and that's the wonderful thing, because your reviews, Ron's reviews, mine, Al's, Ryan's, John Coopy, everybody, the whole lot of us, okay? There's a little bit of a different flavor from everybody, and I think that's a good thing. We all get, we get to see some great outdoor scenery with you, especially with that wonderful Snake River Canyon, which I think Ron and I are totally going to have to plan a trip to get out there, okay? Al has some great scenery, Ryan Duval, good videos, it's a lot of good content for us to take in. But the one thing that I wanted to throw in, okay, and everybody kind of needs to keep in the back of their mind, okay, Frank Wang and DJI are planning that Mini 3, okay? If he doesn't have a prototype already built and flying it right now, okay? So, and you can just imagine what the specs are going to be on it,
Yeah, I mean, DJI is not going to sit on their hands no matter what Hubsan or Fimi or Autel or anybody else comes up with. DJI is not going to sit on their hands, which is great for us. I want to kind of piggyback on what you were saying earlier with regard to multiple reviewers in these drones. The other thing about it is we get to see multiple examples of that drone. In other words, like mine had the gimbal shake on it. Ron's doesn't. Ryan's doesn't. Al had some on his. It seems like we all had varying degrees of the tilted horizon. One thing I will say that seems pretty common to me is everybody seems to have about the same amount of vignetting in their video. Although I will say that is not the vignetting is not something that bothers me too much. If that was something in a drone of the magnitude of a DJI Air 2S or a Mavic 2 Pro, hey, it would be a huge problem. But on a $319 drone, I just don't see it is that kind of a big issue. It still provides some really sharp, and I love the color science they put into it. I think overall, in the grand scheme of things, well, it's like you said earlier, and I think Ryan said it, several people said it, that camera that they put on the Fimi Mini is the best camera that I've seen on any Fimi drone, period.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm looking at footage from yours, from Ryan's, from Ron's, and the detail and the sharpness and the color. It's better than any other Fimi that I've seen before. It is.
And what's interesting about that is it's all in what appeals to your eye too, because some people complain that it's too sharp, and some people complain that the color is oversaturated. And I get it. If I happen to like it that way, but I understand why, others, if that's, if you don't like that, I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, when I see that green popping out, it's just like, wow. Okay. I mean, it's crisp in the details. I was looking at Ron's, okay, when I think he was landing in the field, when he was doing that test with him in focus and everything, and looking at the field, it was the sharpness of it, okay, the clarity of detail, it kind of just jumped out at you. You didn't have, there was no doubt this wasn't, you didn't feel like it was a $319 drone.
Yeah, it's remarkable. But you just touched on something, Bill. I think that the price point of that particular drone is important. You were willing to pay 500 and whatever for the Fimi Mini, or excuse me, the Zino Mini, based on the specs of that drone. This Fimi Mini, from what we know about it so far, I just don't think that they're going to get that kind of money. If they keep it priced in the low 300s, or maybe even a little bit under $300, it's a runaway hit. If they start trying to price it up $450 and like that, then not so much. Yeah.
I mean, that's they need to. I think they were aggressive. I think that $319 price it will work all day long with them. Okay, because it's most places it's $399 right now. I think if they had it at $319, okay, that thing's going to fly literally off the shelves. So
right. And well worth it. Well worth the money at that price.
Yeah. And now with that second what's nice is both you and I and others are going to be getting that second battery. Okay, that's going to be fantastic. Okay, because it'll increase your run time, and you'll also be able to see put it on a scale, see if it stays under 350 grams. I mean, that's what this battery's for. So that's going to be very interesting to see. I mean,
really. And we've talked about this before too. I'm not so worried about a drone being under 250 grams, because obviously with Part 107, and if I'm going to publish that video on my YouTube channel, I've got to have a sticker on it anyway, so it really makes a little difference to me. Now, if you're a hobbyist, it's kind of handy. You don't have to worry about registering it. The other advantage, though, we need to keep this in mind too, with that lithium-ion battery, is you can charge it up and you can leave it charged and not worry about it, as opposed to the lithium polymer that the Pro battery is. I assume it's a smart battery and will discharge itself, but I think that's kind of the next leap that drone manufacturers have to get over, because if you're going to go out and fly, you need to think about it the day before and get your batteries charged up and ready to go, because you can't just leave them charged for a period of time.
Right.
And it's an advantage. I'm just for that lithium ion battery.
That is definitely, and I have to say this, and I know. I think you and Ron were on when we had Rick Smith, and I'm going to get him on here shortly, as long as he's not under NDA. But one of the big things that he was talking about with battery technology is, there's a certain point that they can only go so far. Okay, with the existing technology that they have right now, with getting the certain amount out of a certain size. Okay, it's just they're constrained by, they have a lot of constraints with that, and I know Rick was saying, it's just not advancing like he would hope it would, because he's an electrical engineer, and that's the kind of thing that he knows about. So, that I think it's incredible when they can squeeze, say 5 minutes more out of a battery by doing some other things, maybe non-battery related, whether it's weight, whether it's different props, whether it's, different arms on the drone, that kind of thing. They look at doing things that are going to help, get a better runtime for that drone. And, and runtime is everything with it, Marcus, it really is.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people are complaining about the Air 2S, that it has a shorter flight time, and it appears that it has a much shorter flight time than the Air 2. And I don't know if that's due to tuning, due to something with that 1-inch sensor. I have no idea. But it doesn't bother me that much, Bill. I know a lot of people get focused in on it, and I get it. But boy, once I have that drone up there for 20 minutes or so, I'm kind of ready to bring it back. And that's just me. I recognize other people, they like.
I'm the same way, Marcus. I'm up there 20 minutes or so. I've gotten my shots. I've seen what I wanted to see up there. I've done, whatever I'm going to do, and it's time to come back. For me, I'm good with that kind of stuff. But by the time, if you're looking 25, 30, 35 plus minutes, it gets, I'll say this, your attention span, at least for me, okay, for 20 minutes, I can stay totally focused on what I need to do as a remote pilot in charge, okay? We get more than 30 minutes here, it gets easy to get distracted, okay? And, and I got to say this, okay, just kind of like a little sidebar here as far as getting distracted. You know who's my number one distraction in my life, okay? Valerie. And you know what? I love her to pieces, but we're driving somewhere and she says, "Did you see that over there?" Okay. And I'm like, "No, I didn't, because my eyes are on the road."
On the road. Yeah.
Okay. Like they're supposed to be. Okay. I said, and when I tell her, videotape it. If it's that interesting, videotape it and show it to me later, kind of a thing. Well, it's the same thing here. You got to pay attention to what you're doing at all times. I mean, you get distracted. Boom. Oh, I don't know if you saw this or not, but Osinilev posted that the DJI Fly app is going to get live streaming capabilities. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, I saw some kind of post and I didn't really understand it. So that's what they're saying. Okay.
Yeah, and then our buddy who's in the chat, Lauren. Hey, Lauren. He was saying, and plus a lot more goodies from that. So this sounds like a significant update to the Fly app. So
you mentioned the other day that you've warmed up to the Fly app, and a lot of people have now seen the advantage of the Fly app over what the old Go 4 app was. And we were all in love with Go 4, and then now this Fly app, they've refined it enough that hey, it just makes a lot more sense.
Oh, it's it's intuitive, it's easy to use, it has all the information that you need. They're finally get the message that maybe you need to change some of the colors on some of those things. You're and I number one complain about it. That darn white against the white sky.
Yeah.
How can you even see that kind of stuff? That's all getting addressed. That's all getting taken care of. And and I was harking back to when DJI tried to get the smart controller and try to get, like Facebook and YouTube and other live streaming services. And it was a natural disaster. Okay. There were workarounds. They would work for a while and then they wouldn't work anymore. Okay. They never got it off the ground right. But I think the Fly app, I think it's a lot cleaner. I think they don't have as many. See, with software, when you keep adding things onto it, all right, if you make it streamlined in the first place, it runs so much better when you have to make additions to it. And I think that's the case here with the DJI Fly app. With they're adding to it, they made it so you can add these modifications onto it, because software, it's like the DJI Go 4 app. The code has probably been cobbled onto, and it gets really cumbersome. Okay. and it gets kind of clunky as far as the code is concerned. So
that's kind of what Lauren is saying in the chat right now. He's saying that the fly app is starting to run heavy
too. Yeah, and it's hard. It's hard to do that because the fly app. Look how many drones it covers now. Okay, and it's probably going to be covering the Mavic 3 when it comes out, the Mini 3 when it comes out. It's going to have a lot under its plate to take care of there. So so how was your time with Sean Oz last night? I didn't get a chance to see it yet.
Yeah, good. Sean is just an awesome dude, and we ran the gamut of conversation. Kind of got all over the place as typical. I did think about something that I think it was on that show somebody brought up about the smart controller. Somebody was asking if they thought that the smart controller is something that they should buy for their Air 2S, and I don't want to. Personally, I don't think I would. The advantage to me of the smart controller was that really bright screen, but I was always put off by the lag and the touch screen on it. So I didn't know what to say. But what do you think, Bill? Are you hearing, if somebody asked you today, should I buy a smart controller for my Air 2 or my Air 2S? What would you tell them?
Yeah, I would say so. Hang on. I don't know what happened here.
Yeah. Go ahead, Bill. Anyway, the smart controller to me is
why it got muted here.
We can hear you, Bill, if that's what you're. So.
Okay, let's do this here.
I don't think Bill hears us.
Let's see if this is still working here.
Hey, I can say anything I want, right?
Okay, my screen froze on.
Hey guys, listen, he can't hear us. What?
I don't know what's going on here. Oh wow, this is good. This is not good. I'm gonna try starting my wow.
Hey, sorry, folks. So Bill's working through the technical problems here.
I'm trying to figure it out here, guys. So hang on.
What's going on? That is funny. Well,
okay, muted mic. I don't know what's going on here.
Hey, I can say anything now, right? He'll never know.
Okay, I figured it out.
Oh man! Oh shoot!
I don't know what was going on, but I got it.
Bill, we were talking about you behind the scenes there.
Yeah, I bet you guys were. Wrong button, wrong time. All that jazz. So I finally figured it out. Well, I've been having browser issues. Okay, I can't have. Anytime I would open Chrome, my antivirus would kick off. All right. So I just deleted Chrome off, and I was a heavy Chrome user. So now I'm using Microsoft Edge, and then for another browser, I'm using Firefox for that. So, but that was causing me all kind of issues. And with new browsers, they have new little things, and I hit something on there, and boom, that's what happened on that. So that's what muted my sound. So
Understood. Hey, so my question about the smart controller.
Yes.
Would you recommend it to somebody for their Air 2 or their Air 2S?
Right now, I would say no. And the reason I would say no is I'm expecting a new iteration of the smart controller coming out with the Mavic 3. I bet, I would say it's either coming out with it or very shortly after it, or it's going to be like Ron did. It's going to be bundled with the Mavic 3, okay? And buy it. You won't have a regular analog kind of style controller that came with the Mavic 2. You'll just have a smart controller with it if you want that option. That's what I think will be available. However, be prepared to break a couple of piggy banks to pay for something like that. That's going to be
just like the Autel one. We thought that the original smart controller was expensive. Autel's theirs is what, $1,200 or something.
Yeah, it's it's like by the time you buy that and you buy an Evo 2, you're spending some pretty serious coin to So with that. Now, that being said, I mean, everybody is raving about that smart controller and how great it looks and how well it functions. You know, for $1,200, that thing better make me breakfast in the morning. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of price, you know, it better just automatically download the videos for me and not even have to worry about it, kind of a thing. I mean, that is very pricey.
It'd be high powered and bright screen and all that kind of stuff to be able to handle big files, etc. Those are all things that are important because I mean, let's face it, what the smart controller is essentially it's an Android tablet with control sticks attached. So it would be nice to Leonard Oglesby is saying that his is working great, and I understand that, Leonard. My frustration with it was the touch screen, etc. And I had a fair amount of lag with mine, so it could have just been the one I had. I don't know.
Well, for me, and the reason that here's my thing, okay, is I love the functionality of it. I thought it worked very well. I got a little bit of lag, not much, but the thing for me was the size of the screen, okay?
It's another good point. Yeah.
You know, it's like it was just a little bit bigger than my Note 10 Plus, okay?
Right.
And my Note 10 Plus has, you know, it's pretty bright outside. It has a high nit number. I forget what it is, but it works pretty well outside in the sun. Now, the big plus with that was here in Florida, okay, the smart controller, I don't care how sunny it was, I could see the screen. I did not have any issues with that, okay?
Huge advantage for that product.
That was fantastic for that. But like you said, okay, one of the other things that drove me nuts, okay, because when I'm using my phone, okay, I'm using the built-in screen recorder app, okay? And I'm sure like a lot of us do whenever we're shooting videos, okay? And the microphone on the phone, obviously this is a phone, it picks up my voice super clear, no problems, okay? The microphone on the smart controller, you could toss it away in the garbage. It was horrible. You had to have it up here like this, Marcus, when you were flying for it to have any kind of a semblance of picking up your voice. If you didn't, forget it. It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible with that.
Yeah. Hey, a couple things in the chat, Bill. Lauren is bringing up the fact that he felt like he got 30% less range with his smart controller. And Patrick Huppert, I think, brought up a good point here. There's that Triple Tech tablet that a lot of people are using. I've never used it. It looks cool. I would love it. I wish Apple would come out with a ruggedized iPad with a super bright screen like that. I mean, it's probably too small of a market for them to mess with it, but it'd be really cool.
I can tell. I talked to Dobo about the Triple Tech, and I also talked to Steve, Captain Drone. They both said muy bueno. So that thing is fantastic in the sun. It runs forever. He said, what Dobo said, it was like 10 hours of runtime before he had to recharge it. Okay, you know, and Triple Tech will replace the battery for you for like $25 if it needs updated. You know, they really stand behind their product. You know, it's about $600, and it's one of those things. If I'm being a good boy in Christmas, it might be under the tree for me this year. So I'm kind of that's one of the big things that's on my list because it'll work. They have an adapter for it to work with the Mini 2, the Air 2, the Air 2S, and the smart controller. Is like a plastic adapter you can buy. It's like $25. It fits in there and it's perfect. And it's just absolutely perfect. So yeah, it's one of the things that I'm considering.
Hey, there's another good comment here. JSK Enterprise is asking about APAS on the Air 2S. And, you know, I kind of chickened out in one of my videos where I was kind of going towards a tree to see if it would go around it. It might have. It was over the top of a drain ditch, so I didn't want to take the chance of the drone. So I chickened out. Honestly, I chickened out. But to his point, there are people, I guess, that are commenting that it doesn't seem to work as well on the Air 2S. I need to get out and mess around with it and experiment around with it. I haven't done that yet.
Here's a great test, and I did this with the original Mavic Air. okay, and it's super easy to do, okay, and it's one that has, I call it a low risk APAS test, all right. And what I did was we both have 90-gallon garbage and 90-gallon recycle containers, okay. And what I did was I set them up about 10 feet apart, all right, out on the street. And now I live, and this is in the old house, you know, it was a cul-de-sac right there. And nobody would drive right down at that end. So I was clear to be able to do this. It was a perfect test for it because I knew, because let's say if it accidentally hit it, it's hitting plastic, okay? So it's really kind of no harm, no foul. Both times, all the tests that I did, it was fantastic. One of the times it went to the side and then it went to the next one and then it leapfrogged it and then it changed its mind. It leapfrogged the first one and then it leapfrogged the second one. Okay. You know, it worked. You know, this is with the original Mavic Air. So that may be a good test for somebody, for you to do if you were thinking about doing something like that, because I consider it a low risk kind of a test because, you know, having a tree up there, well, you know, yeah, but is it real world with the garbage cans? Sort of. I mean, you know, it's kind of a low risk test, and that's why I kind of like doing that because, well, you know, that Mavic Air was on loan to me, so I really had to make sure that I was going to get it back. But you know, I think that's a kind of test to do with APAS on there. Okay. Now, the one thing that I haven't seen, and what's really interesting, is there's a private airport. It's probably about 3 miles away. Okay, private airports aren't, you know, part of the 5 mile rule. Okay, now a lot of these planes when they take off, and it's a small one because you're getting your small Cessnas and Pipers and all that are coming up from this airport. All right, but these guys, when they take off, they don't go more than 200 feet. Okay, because I've seen them over my house and I can read their registration number on the side of the plane. That's how low they are, okay? I'm wondering, you know, I haven't seen whatchamacallit kick in with the Air 2S.
If you hadn't said that, I'd have remembered what
I know.
it was.
I know.
Yeah.
It's just kind of, you know, APAS.
Somebody in the chat's going to have to tell us where it tells you about the manned aircraft. Yeah, darn it. I'm like, okay, you know. But in any case, I had that happen too. When I was out the other day, I was out at Lucky Peak Reservoir, and an aircraft came by. He was well clear of me. I could see him clearly, right? ADS-B, Lauren is telling me.
ADS-B, yeah.
Thank you, Lauren. But ADS-B didn't go off. Now, my understanding is that when the aircraft is not in controlled airspace, it's not required that they have that
right.
on.
They don't always have, you know, they don't always have to turn that on when they're not in controlled airspace. And obviously that's not controlled airspace, these private strips like that. So they don't have to turn that on until, you know, they start, you know, a little bit further into Tampa, then that thing has to come on, you know, because actually at my older house, okay, it did pop on a couple of times up there. And what's real interesting, okay, my older house was a flyover route for MacDill Air Force Base, okay? So, you know, in a moment's notice, and they don't, you know, a lot of times they don't have to have their ADS-B on, except when they're flying in controlled airspace and it's not really quote unquote military maneuvers kind of a thing. This is what they were telling me. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, I've had it come in a lot of cases and other cases not. So, but I do know that they don't, if I understand it correctly, the rule is they don't have to have it on unless they're in controlled airspace. So.
Yeah, Michael Wright chimed in here. Bill, there's no such thing as a 5 mile rule anymore, and he's right on that. So, you know, thank you, Michael. Thank you for bringing that up. You know, that's just, you know, it's just like things change so much now. With that, you got to keep your head down and your eyes glued to things to figure out what's going on. So my freaking allergies are driving me up a wall.
That time of year.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Well, you know, we've had a good discussion tonight about the minis, and you know, just my thought is this, and just kind of wrapping up this segment here is, you know, and I take it from the first person I've heard it from, is my good friend Ken Dono, original Dobo. It's like, enjoy the drone that you have. Okay, don't worry about what's coming. Enjoy the drone that you have, and then when it comes, you can go ahead and get it and enjoy it. Okay, but until then, enjoy what you have, kind of a thing. And that's what I have to say about the minis. Okay, enjoy what you have. Okay, obviously, things are going to change. It's going to be very fluid. And the good thing about all this is, Marcus, if the Zino Mini Pro lives up to what it is, it's going to push DJI to build a better drone, okay? And then it's going to push Hubsan to build a better drone, so it's going to be some healthy competition,
Yeah. No, that's it. I think it's good for all of us. And that sub 250 gram thing is really becoming important, worldwide. And so I love it. It's fun. It gives us a lot to look forward to and to mess around with. And I just love flying these drones. It's fun to see the different philosophies of the different manufacturers and the different things that they include and the different things that they do with them. It's just a riot. It's a good time to be in this hobby.
It is. It's a lot of fun, and you get to see, for example, the packaging that Fimi had with the Mini here was different than probably almost any other drone that I've seen before, and that's an interesting thing. It's going to be interesting to see what Hubsan comes out with. It's unique, and I think that's part of the thing that we enjoy, that we embrace, and we take a look at, and I think we provide, those of us that do this drone review gig, I think provide a very valuable service to a lot of people around the world. We're the bellwether on things. We're the Amazon reviewers. We're the ones that will tell you yay or nay. But and I have to say this, everybody who I know, everybody is doing it not just to get it. If they're getting drones, like Rick Smith or like Kelly or whatever, okay, they give their honest opinion of it, okay, and it's like you, like me, like Ryan Duval, Al Duran, John Cooper. We give honest opinions on what these drones are like and whether or not it's going to be right for you. So, any closing thoughts, Marcus?
Well, except for, I guess, just to agree with what you just said, get out there and fly what you got. This is a great time of year to be flying drones because the weather's a little more moderate in the spring, and you can get out there and do some flying. So, yeah, get out there, fly drones, have fun.
Yeah, well, if the weather is getting super nice down here in Florida, well, it's funny because it kind of skips spring, and most of the days we're having 85-degree highs right now. I mean, it's kind of like, normally it would kind of progress up and then get to 85 and 90, but it just decided it skipped everything and it's going to stay at 85 right now.
Great to summertime.
Oh yeah, and it's nice, and but here's the other thing, May is acting like March because it's been like super windy down here right now. So I was going to go out and fly today, but no dice on that. So, but be that as it may, one of the other things I want to let you guys know, I talked about the grab bags that are coming up, and that's going to be a lot of fun. So stay tuned for that. I got a new video coming out, and I call it my final flight with a Phantom 4 Pro V2.0. Plus, I've included some highlights from some of my other videos. I think you guys will like it. I edited it so it's not too terribly long, but I think it'll be enjoyable. I hope you guys like that. It should be a lot of fun. Go ahead, Marcus.
You just kind of said something there. Are you gonna sell your V2.0?
It's already sold.
Holy cow!
Yeah, it's already sold.
Wow.
And for me, here's the thing.
It just froze over.
Yes, it did freeze over. Okay. For me, here's my thinking behind that. Okay. It's like, all right, the name of the game is portability. All right. And it's been that way. DJI rang that bell in August of 2018 when the Mavic 2 Pro came out. Okay. And ever since then, ever since the Mavic Pro came out, ever since then, portability is king. Okay. And then with the Mini, when it came out, size is also king as well too. So, it had a lot of strikes against it. Okay. It still had the mechanical shutter, but for me, a mechanical shutter, I don't do mapping or topography. So it just kind of does not kind of jive up for me. Okay.
Isn't what you needed.
It isn't what I needed. So yeah, that's why I went ahead and sold it. If I can ask everybody, all my drone family here tonight, one of my best friends from high school and her husband, believe it or not, are in the hospital with COVID-19, okay, in the Pittsburgh area. So if you can keep them in your thoughts and prayers. Her dad and my dad graduated from high school in 1940. They were best of friends. This friend of mine, she is just a wonderful person, a loving, caring, considerate person. They have one daughter. She's at home. She's a lawyer. So if you can keep them in your thoughts and prayers, I would really appreciate that. There's just some really good people. And it's kind of like, you think we're on the tail end of all this, and then reality kind of hits, and, you hear this, and this was like a bolt out of the blue, hearing this kind of stuff, so, keep them in your thoughts and prayers, and I'll keep you guys posted on how they're doing. But anyway, okay. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Enjoy this weather. The weather's starting to turn. Get out there, fly. Look forward to. We got that Zino Mini Pro coming up. Okay, I got my Fimi X8 Mini. I'm going to be ordering that tomorrow. So that's coming. So as always, guys, you know what I got to say. It's a great day to fly. Take care, everybody.